Where people gather and the tea flows, the talk is sure to turn to politics. At this tea stall in Juba, we asked them to weigh in on the recent closure of a newspaper and 2 radio stations by the government.
What comes out of the mouth of the government is what the media houses should follow. They should not follow rumors from outside.
When it comes to freedom, I feel like there's no freedom. I get more news from newspapers outside the country.
Journalism is taking root in the world's youngest country. Government leaders say there are already dozens of newspapers, radio, and TV stations. Some journalists, such as Wazir Michael, are worried that South Sudan is entering a repressive era. Security forces shut down his 1-year-old newspaper last month. He says the government has wrongly accused a board member of being sympathetic to the opposition, which is battling President Salva Kiir for control.
In light of the policies being followed by the government, it will be very hard for journalists to follow a path based on the ethics of the profession. I think the current harassment will harm the future of journalism.
Michael says the closure came after repeated warnings from the government, which didn't appreciate his newspaper's sometimes negative coverage.
An official with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting says journalists will only get into trouble if they report on issues that compromise national security or stir up tribal tensions, and all media outlets must have licenses to operate.
We are not there to close down newspapers because we believe in freedom of expression. You see, we have suffered enough during our struggle for freedom. We cannot come and oppress our people not to express their free will. Do your work of journalism with professionalism. We will not interfere. We will interfere only when you see you go out of the limits.
But just what those limits are remains a question for journalists such as Michael. The government gave him an ultimatum: remove the board member and you can resume publishing. Even though Michael believes the board member is being used as a smokescreen, he'll do it. He says this is a critical time in South Sudan's history, and he wants to continue providing his readers with the news they need. Natasha Ghanem, Al Jazeera, Juba, South Sudan.